Good morning, everybody. I hope you can all hear me and see me okay. I'm just admitting a few more people in. If anybody, if you could just go down to the bottom of your screen, there is a chat button next to the green share screen on the left-hand side. You could just click on that and just send me a quick message just to let me know that you can hear me and see me okay.
Yeah.
I have turned all of your mics and video off, as we do have quite a few people in this session this morning. So if you do have any questions for either myself or for the manufacturers, please use the chat section and we will get to those as soon as possible. I think you can all hear me and see me okay. Thank you, everybody. I'll just give it just one more minute for any latecomers and then we'll kick off. Okay. If anybody is sitting with multiple people, if you could also just send me a message so I'm aware as to who's actually here today, just so I can mark off attendance. That would be fabulous, please. Thanks, Aaron. Okay, I think we're almost set for this morning. Okay, so thank you all for coming quite early this morning. It is greatly appreciated. So for those who are new to the program, the weather-based irrigation rebate has run the last couple of years for Water Corporation customers. Last year they allowed for 600 rebates and that exceeded to over 800. So this year Water Corporation have exceeded to 2,000 rebates. Which is fantastic to get customers, you know, more water efficient with their gardens and lawns. So Water Corporation and Irrigation Australia have obviously been in talks in regards to the eligible products and who will be partaking in this initiative this year. So this initiative is exclusive to Waterwise members. So a customer can go to one of the eligible stores, which there are 30 in the Perth and Peel metro area. Purchase one of the eligible products that range from Hunter, Beehive and Rainbird. They can then contact a Waterwise garden irrigator if they are not already aligned with the store to come out and set up and program that new controller or the module to make it a weather-based product. And then the Waterwise garden irrigator signs off on a checklist. The customer signs it, the Waterwise garden irrigator signs it, and the customer uploads all relevant documents through Water Corporation's website. Last year, they were doing refunds directly to the customer. This year, they have decided to put the credit against the customer's water bill moving forward. So the total cost will be $200 against the product and $100 off the labour of the Waterwise garden irrigator. The Waterwise garden irrigator is also eligible to purchase on behalf of the customer. So if you do have trade accounts with Nutrien, Watershed, Reese, any of those independent stores as well, you can purchase the product on behalf of the customer, go and program it. And then when you invoice them, all you need to do is stipulate on the invoice. One line is obviously for the purchase and the price, and then the second line would be for the installation and the price. So that is something that you can obviously provide to the customer. There's a few more people coming into the session. Welcome to the latecomers. The rebate kicks off the 1st of August for bore users, as we are all aware that you can purge the system for 2 minutes as long as you have a testing sign. If you don't have an authorised sprinkler testing sign, we do sell magnetic ones from our office. So if you are interested, please send me an email and I can send you through an order form and some more information regarding that. The scheme users will come into effect the 1st of September. So if you do have any customers that do purchase this between now and then, please let them know that they will not be eligible for the rebate until the 1st of September. So they will need to have it programmed and signed off after that date. I'm just going to show you some of the documents that are relevant, obviously, to the rebate. So the flyer will be, there will be a flyer that Water Corporation is printing at the moment. All will be sent to the eligible stores, hopefully with the end of the week. So I've asked for 200 flyers to be given to the stores. So if you could please be obviously handing these out at the time of purchase, or if you have any customers that come in that may be interested in future, is to please hand out the flyer so that they are fully aware of what consists of the rebate. So the eligible products are Hunter, Beehive, and Rainbird. So Hunter does have several controllers, which Robbie will obviously talk about, and Orbit, Daryl or Todd will be giving a brief presentation for, and Rainbird, which Gareth will be discussing in regards to either the controllers and obviously the modules that go with those controllers. In regards to the checklist, this will be provided to the Waterwise garden irrigators. So please obviously print quite a few and put them in your car so that you're ready to go when programming the controller. So as you can see, customers' details, a few yes and no questions to answer, any additional comments, and your details, as well as your individual unique widget ID number. And the customer is then obviously given the website to go to Water Corporation. As I explained, this initiative is exclusive to Waterwise members. A customer cannot go to a Bunnings store or purchase online. They have to go to the 30 eligible stores, which will be provided through Water Corporation's directory, as well as waterwiseprograms.com.au, which is the website that we administer. So I will be going through each business directory listing for the stores and for the garden irrigators to advise that obviously you are partaking in this initiative, so customers are aware and that they can engage with you directly. If you have not checked your business directory listing, if you could please do so and let me know if you require any additional changes, contact numbers, email addresses, or anything like that, and I can get that changed for you. In regards to the terms and conditions, this will also be provided if you would like to keep a copy of this to obviously show the customer as well that it is a $300 rebate, what those eligible products consist of, and what they need to do. So I will also be arranging with our marketing department to start the kickoff of the promotional side of things. So we do have a Facebook page, which is Waterwise Programs. So if you don't already follow our page, you could please go on and like our Waterwise Programs page. And as I said, we will start the promotional material of that. Obviously, that will be going out to the community and to industry. So please feel free to share those posts as well onto your own Facebook page so that you know, potential customers are aware that you are also part of this program. Okay. So does anybody have questions for me as of yet? Nobody's asking questions. Okay, well, I first of all have Daryl Wiley from HR Products, who will be doing his brief presentation for Beehive. So I will hand that over to Daryl. I'm not sure if you're doing it today, Daryl, or if Todd is. If you can hear me, Daryl.
Sorry. Oh wait, sorry. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're trying to launch Todd's session, but what I'll do is we'll do it off mine.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
That's okay. If you want to get that set up, I do have a question from Paul. Is the rebate dependent on the controller they buy, or is it a straight $300 payment regardless? No, so Paul, so it is part of the eligible products. So if the customer does purchase one of the modules or a controller and a module as a package deal, they can get up to $200 off that. And then obviously $100 off the labor. So it's a total of 300. They need to do both. They can't just go to a store, purchase it, and then go home and program it. They have to have a garden irrigator come out and program it. Otherwise, they will not be eligible. I hope that answers your question.
I'm ready.
You ready, Daryl?
Todd.
Or Todd? Yep.
Sure. Do you want to share my screen?
Yeah, so you now have access to share your screen. So I will hand it over to Todd, who will be doing a brief presentation from HR Products on regards to the Beehive.
G'day everyone, how are you? I'm Todd. I may have spoken to you on the phone before. If I haven't, don't be shy. Give me a call and I'll help you out with stuff if you need it. We are doing the Beehive presentation, the smart controller from Orbit. It is a really handy tool, I find. You can do nearly all of the whole home watering, from your indoor outdoor controllers to a small indoor to, of course, the Beehive, the tap timer and the smart faucet there. Each one has its really good place in the industry, but we're going to concentrate now, I think, on setting up the unit, getting your account up and running, and keeping it like smooth so you can do this in front of a client with no problems. And it is quite easy. The one thing I generally say is be patient with it, but also try and do it in order. All right. So if it asks a question, try and finish the entire page before moving on to the next section, because you will find that really does help moving on and getting everything working nicely. All right. So with the app, you can control pretty much everything. You can see everything at a glance by either taking photos of each station, or you can have a very easy vision of your calendar month, when you're going to be watering, what the watering history was for those days. And you can do things like set up your catch cups and put that information into the system so it knows what's getting water where and for how long. Obviously, when you're going to start off, you do need to have an account running. Now, I mean, this is quite obvious, but it will really help you in ways such as when you have your own account, you can then share units or have units shared to yourself. And this will mean if you're running a business, you have 15 clients, they all have Beehive, you could have all of their controllers coming back to your phone, and while still being on the clients, but you can be seeing their notifications. Oh, station 2 didn't work out on, Mrs. Smith. And you can either decide, do I call? Do I get proactive? Or at least you might be getting a call. Now, it's not something you can you can actually just hook it up, turn it on, program it, set their system up and walk away. but also you've got this great feature of being able to get instant notifications about what your clients' gardens are doing. And I would really recommend that when you have an account, you do keep an eye on your clients. I have about 80 controllers on mine, and I've yet to find a limit on how many I can look at on the one account. Easy. You've created your account, and when you get started, so when you first off get started, when you open it up, it's going to want to prompt you. I have a code. That is if a client gave you a code, so you can log into theirs for a brief moment, or I am setting up a new device. Once you click that, it will just simply take you through to another screen where you'll see each of the different beehive units. You just simply select the one you have, indoor, outdoor. You can even separate, say you get the hose faucet and the hose faucet and hub. You can actually do them as one, or you could do them one at a time. I would normally just recommend, if they are a new unit, you just pick the faucet, timer and hub, or your indoor outdoor timer. As we move on, it will always ask, is my device powered on? Simple answer, can you see the screen and is it putting out 24 volts? It's on. And then we'll try Wi-Fi pairing. Now, to move it into pair mode, you turn the unit into the off position, and then on the back of the screen, there's just this reset tab. You just press it once, a couple of seconds, and that will put it into pair mode, and it will actually say pair, P-I-1-R on the screen. Once you see that, you know you're ready to go. Now, it will search for your device, and I've got to be honest, even with a few devices around me, it seems to always know which one I want to pair to, which is really handy. But it literally just tells you the MAC address. And I say, just look at the last 4 digits, the B2, F7, or whatever it is on your screen. And that will also be on the back. Where's that image gone? No. Sorry about that. I just skipped back a bit. Let me move out of this. Device is powered on. So we're back to here. Down the bottom where you see this barcode, just to the left of that, it would have helped if it was in the picture, but it doesn't really matter. Just to the left of that is where you would see that MAC number for matching up, right here. Once it matches, you just simply press, this matches my device. Now, when you're hooking up for a client, you do need to really know their Wi-Fi password, or to have them there so they can log in their Wi-Fi password if they're not very happy with you having it for whatever reason. So it is important and it is needed that this happens, because if you avoid doing this now, it just simply means the client will have to come back and try to do it for themselves later, which then contravenes all the Waterwise, the Rebate. So it can be difficult sometimes to ask for a client's Wi-Fi password, but you really should get it. It will really help. Once it's connected, it will move you to the moving in the programming. So it's going to ask for a name. Now you can call it anything. I would normally just give it the house's last name. So if they're the Williams, you just have Williams timer, something like that. They can always change it later if they wish. Using the current location is great. This will log in all their details for you. The only issue this can have sometimes is if they are at the back end of a property, because if you're too far back, it may think you are the house next door or the house on the other side. This generally is not too big of a deal for weather sense, because let's be honest, you'll be getting it from the exact same weather station. So it will still be getting those correct details. It will just look a bit weird if you ever need to find it again. Now, Zone Connect, super easy. You just select which stations you're going to be using. In this case, we've selected 4, and then it will test the zone. You can skip this. It is merely a 24 volt out for say 30 seconds to that station. You could use a multimeter to check, but by this stage you'd normally be hooked up anyway, so let it run. And now we name the zones: front lawn, back lawn, whichever we wish. You can see, you won't see the names on the controller, but the customer will be able to see it in their app. And obviously the testing of the other zones. And then we can go smart watering or traditional watering. Now, you can do a combination also of the smart and traditional, but basically what we can do is you can select all zones for smart watering, or you can select each one that you would like to pick on purpose. Say you have this one, it's only going to be doing this section of gardens, or it's going to be doing orchids, or they're looking after a particular flower or plant. You can select that one station to be on smart and then really fine tune that station as you need. Or if you're going to look at everything, you can just pick all of them, and then it takes it as one. Now, you can still give it other information, such as putting in your soil types. And as we know, this is WA, so we're always going to be thick clay. I mean, if I'm sorry, that was a terrible joke. And then you can also pick what kind of turf, trees, perennial shrubs, anything like that, and what kind of sprinkler heads you're using. You can also select, an estimated sunlight, if it's half under shade, or it's under shade cloth, or it's just in the eaves for your rain and how it's getting hit when it's watering, and what's the grade of the soil. You can pick how many sprinklers you've got, and then you can set your watering restrictions. It's quite easy when you go step by step. The biggest problem we find is people start and then someone calls them away and they shut the app, and then they come back and then they've not quite finished. The controller doesn't know, am I ready? Am I not ready? It takes, I saw a 75-year-old lady program 6 full controllers in about 20 minutes. She thought she needed help, and all I really did was stand there and just kind of go, okay, now press this, and then lean back and watched her fly. And once she got one going, she just got faster and faster every time. And really, you're all set up, but you will have no programs scheduled yet. And that's where we come in. We can go in, we can check our accounts, we can check what we need to do, we can check our devices, the water. Well, there is no watering history yet, but this is in just down the bottom of my beehive. This is where you do everything. Now, you can control via Bluetooth, but if it's connected via Wi-Fi, I would always just keep it as a Wi-Fi controller. You can even set up your rain delay percentage, or your depths, or a wind delay. Now, I really do recommend, depending on where you are, especially say you were in like Dunsborough, you should check your wind speed, because it might be the average wind there is higher than what it's set for in the controller. And you'll come back and go, why does it keep going out in wind delay? Because you're set to say 32 kilometers and the average wind speed's 38. So it keeps saying, go off on wind. There's too much wind to water. So just a little thing to be aware of there. And you can set off your system shut off, which is really important, especially in WA. This is something you can just program in, and we never have to worry about it again. It will just automatically do it for itself every year, in and out. And then your calendars. And now, if you're watering, you will actually see it will put a little symbol under the dates that have watered. So you can look at your programs. Just this indicates that we're smart watering, or you can simply click on one of your programs to do that. Take your photos so we can see exactly where we're looking at on each station. This is also super helpful for contractors when they're coming back to a property. So they go, oh, station 4's, which one's station 4? Oh, it's the one, you know, I've got the pot plants. Okay, sweet, I know where I'm working. And taking things from the information, your soil moisture, the catch cups, if we program that, you can look back and see all the information, and it will tell you what's going on right there. And as you can see on the right, we have the zone watering details. Now, the more things you have in, it really does help for communicating. So you might find that you have a controller on one side, and then later they will say, we're bringing in a new little section, but there's no way to get pipe there. Well, that's okay, because you can use the tap timer, and then you can connect the tap timer via the controller to the Wi-Fi. And that way you've added a station. Good little, just some nice adverts there. Now, the great thing about the tap timer is that it has an inbuilt flow sensor, little water meter in there. Now, it does require more than, say, about 11 litres a minute to really register, but you'll be able to see how much water you're using, if you're using too much, if you're using too little, already all built in. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
We'll see if anything comes through, Todd. But thank you so much for that presentation. And yes, if anybody has any questions for Todd and Daryl regarding the Beehive products, please put it in the chat. I'll just take back over the screen. Okay, so I also just wanted to obviously just expand a little bit more in regards to the directory and to the Facebook page. So if you are not, as I said, aware of the Waterwise Programs website, if you could please go onto waterwiseprograms.com.au, click on the Western Australia side of the map, click on directory, and then it is split between garden irrigators and design shops. So that is another way that the customers will be able to engage with you guys. As you can see, the Retic and Landscape has already got the controller rebate program already on their title. So this is how customers will also be able to know what you are partaking in. So if you just want to have a quick look at your directory listing, and yes, please let me know if you do require any additional changes. Just heading back to our Facebook page, so Waterwise Irrigation Programs. As I said, we will continue to post in regards to some promotional material about the rebate, and we also put on there the irrigation checklist. We do professional spotlights, sprinkler runtime flyers. So any of those posts that you believe would be relevant, more than happy for you guys to like and share onto your Facebook pages. Just heading back to the sprinkler runtime flyers and the controller cards as well. We do have plenty of stock available at our office. So if you do require any additional stock for this rebate or just in general, please let me know, as we do ask that obviously once you are programming the controller, that you are putting a controller card in the box and that you are handing over a sprinkler runtime flyer, so that the customer is aware that obviously depending on what emitters they have, is what their runtimes should be. We have had a few questions during Todd's presentation, so I'm just going to quickly go through those. So I did have, sorry, I'm scrolling up because a lot of people have been asking. So in regards to Indy's question, has Water Corporation committed to better communication with clients during their application process? There is always this black hole of weeks where clients don't hear anything from Water Corp and then constantly call the contractors asking what's going on or withholding payment for an invoice until their payment from Water Corp occurs. So this year, Indy, it will be a credit against their accounts. They're not going to receive funds back like they did last year. So obviously, depending on what your payment terms are, yeah, that is between you and the customer for your payment terms. If they have any questions, they need to go directly to Water Corporation. I know that Water Corp were a little bit understaffed last year with this rebate, as they had an additional initiative going at the same time. So they have said that they will have more staff to obviously combat with all of the rebates that will be coming through, as not only have they got the weather-based irrigation rebate going, they've also got the spring checkup and an additional bore users one for landscape. So they are going to be pretty busy. So the only thing that I would suggest is to tell them that they need to contact Water Corporation to find out where their credit in regards to the rebate is actually at. So Lee, from Lee Glover. So Beck, what about clients with multiple homes? Can they buy 2 controllers and eligible for 2 rebates? So I did just have a look at the terms and conditions, Lee, just to confirm that. So they have stipulated that here it is. The rebate can only be claimed once per corporation account number, where a customer owns or looks after multiple properties, each with different corporation account numbers. The rebate will be available for a maximum of 3 properties. So if that is obviously that's something that you would like to share with your customers when they are coming through, that if they do have, you know, rentals or other properties, that they are only allowed to have 3 as a maximum. And if they have claimed in the past, they will not be eligible to partake again. I have another question, Beck, same line of question, but commercial properties with separate water bills. So the terms and conditions do state that it is for residential properties only, not commercial. Sorry, scrolling. I do have a question for Todd. Is there a way to make the beehive work with 3-phase bores? Generally, I've received error messages in the past. Which Daryl has responded to. Sorry, slowly scrolling through. Okay. Perfect. Okay. If also we do have online tutorials. I know that some staff, you know, have already watched those videos. If that's just another refresher from today's presentations, if you would like to be enrolled in those, please do make contact with me and I can get that set up for you as well. So I will now hand over to Robbie Goff, who is the area manager for Hunter, to do a brief presentation on his products. I hope you're still here, Robbie. Oh, there you are.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking your time to listen to some of the great initiatives that Irrigation Australia and our Water Corp have come up with. A rebate system for 2,000 controllers this year is a huge amount and a great opportunity to save a heap of water. Let me just go into the presentation. Okay, so Hunter Hydrowise controllers are part of the program. So we've got quite a large number of hardware that's available. They are all part of the Smart Approved Watermark approval system within Australia. The controllers that we are currently doing is one of our first ones is the basic X2 and the wand. It's available in 4, 6, 8 and 14 stations. It's hasn't got the Wi-Fi built in, and it requires a wand to be able to connect it to the internet. The next lot of series controllers are all touchscreen controllers that can also have a flow meter connected to them, so that they can have alerts to overflows, underflows, and typically just flows for your irrigation system. All controllers on the Hydrowise platform have current sensing capabilities as well. So we go from the left-hand side, the little HC controller, which is available in fixed 6 and 12 stations. Our next touchscreen controller is the HPC, which is a modular type controller. Comes out as a base 4-station controller, has 3-station, 9-station, or a 16-station module, and it can be built out to 23 stations. It also can take a decoder module, and we can take it out to 32 stations. Next one in the lineup is our Pro HC, which is again a fixed station count controller. So it's available in 6, 12 and 24 stations. Next size up is the HCC controller, which is available from a basic 8 stations through to 54 stations. So if you've got some of those properties with a larger station count, we can cater for up to 54 stations. So the range caters everything up from the 4 stations through to 54 stations. Okay. To go on Hydrowise, we just go to hydrowise.com. You'll see in the right-hand corner, try now. That's how easy it is to get onto the system. There is a bunch of resources available to help you with everything that you do with Hydrowise. There's training videos, there's videos on how to register as a contractor. There's videos on how to set up your Wi-Fi, videos on X2 and the WAN connection, all available on our websites. And this presentation will be available at the end of the IOL Zoom series that can be distributed as well if you don't get onto any of those links straight away. Our Hydrowise system is fully backed by or supported by our team right around the world. We do have people based here in Australia, and so we can email support@hydrowise.com. We need to quote the Waterwise control serial number every time so that our guys in the background can jump on that system and guide you through it. There is also a phone number that you can contact. Same deal again, we need to know that, controller serial number. Okay, I'm going to put this video on, short video that explains everything that you need to do to set up your account, and how to go and set up your customer to be on your contractor account.
Three-step process, right? First thing you're going to need, Greg, is pull out your handy. That's German for smartphone if you're not familiar with the lingo. And we're going to go to hydrowise.com. So follow along. Go to the browser on your mobile, type in hydrowise.com. And when you get to the page, I want you to click on the 3 parallel lines in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. That's known as the hamburger. At that point, go down to the second from the bottom where it says Try Now. When you get to the Try Now tab, down at the bottom, it says Register Now. Now you want to put in your name, the email address that you want to utilize for your Hydrowise account, and it's going to make you actually enter that twice to make sure you're entering it appropriately. Assuming you are, just use that fantastic little feature called copy and paste. That'll save you a few minutes. Again, I'm giving you the really quick version, understanding you're under the gun. So you can circle back on a lot of this stuff and update your business profile, things of that nature. So after you double enter the email address, be sure, this is one guy screw up all the time, make sure you are saying, yes, I am an irrigation contractor. It's a good thing. However, when you do that, we want a lot more information. So if you wanted to, you've got to put something in each one of these areas. You could simply just put X's in or scribble, whatever you want, and you can circle back after you get through the installation and button this up with proper contact information, your company location, services you perform, and then deselect the little checkbox at the bottom that says you want your details viewable. Unless you've taken the time to actually put in your proper email address, contact information, and services you provided, you really don't want to be out in the public eye yet, right? So then hit register. Once you hit register, I want you to go to your email inbox for the email that you use. And you'll see popping up on the screen here, welcome to Hydrowise. If you scroll down to the halfway point to that email, there's a hyperlink that says, let's get started. The sole purpose of this hyperlink is to create your password, period. It's going to ask you to enter a password. We don't care about capitals or exclamation points or letter or numbers, rather, it's very simple. Mine's password. I'm going to change it now that I told you. Then hit OK. Once you've done that, close out your browser. Okay. When you close out your browser, now I want you to go to the App Store on either your Apple or your Android handy and type in the word Hydrowise, Hydrawise. Okay. When you do that, look for the white water droplet, hit download. I want you to go ahead and open it as soon as it says it's downloaded. So it is now. Beautiful. Loading awesomeness. Enter in the email address that you use to create your account. And then directly beneath that, you want to put in the password that you created off of that registration email where you had to enter the password twice. Well, now here you only have to enter it once. And then from this point forward, you'll never have to enter this information again unless there's an update to the app. So once we get to this point, I really want you to just pump the brakes and close out the app, okay? Next step in the process, Greg, I cannot help you with, okay? That next step in the process means you need a screw gun and a level because it's time to mount that controller. However, when you arrive upon site, there are 4 other critical pieces of information that we're going to need to close the loop on this thing and make it all work that are outside of the physical performance of installing the controller itself, okay? Number 1, you need 2.4 bandwidth Wi-Fi signal, okay? Number 2, you need to know the name of your customer's Wi-Fi network. In addition to that, you're going to need their password. If you don't want their password or they don't want to give it to you, you will need them present when you power up the controller so that they can implement that information into your Hunter Hydrowise controller. The fourth, and equally as critical as the other three, is you need the email address that your customer wants to use when they access their Wi-Fi controller remotely, either via web or through the Hydrowise application. So that's the site information that you have to have. So assuming you got it hung, and it looks level to me by the screen I'm looking at, Greg, so nice work. The next step, power it up. When you power up your Hunter Hydrowise controller, the screen you see here is the same one. All you need to do is press the OK button in the center. You're saying, yes, let's get connected to Wi-Fi. Once you do that, you'll see a secondary one just asking for permission to connect to Wi-Fi. Hit OK again. From there, it's going to display all of the Wi-Fi networks. At this point, you need to have the homeowner, Mr. Johnson, identify which one is his 2.4 bandwidth. And then once you hit confirm, it's going to prompt the homeowner to put their password in. Or if they gave it to you, this is the point where you put it in. Once you hit OK, it's going to take a couple of moments to actually connect to Wi-Fi. And then when you get to this point, this is resting face on all of the Hunter Hydrowise touchscreen controllers. You should see the Wi-Fi in the lower right-hand corner, and you're good to go with your hardware. You're connected to Wi-Fi. The final step in the process of creating your homeowner's account, attaching it to your account, and programming their controller happens through the use of your mobile phone. So let's jump back. We're going to create the homeowner account, open up your Hydrowise app. Once you do it, hit the guy with the wrench in the upper right-hand corner. The bottom selection says Add New Customer. This is where you're going to implement the email address for that customer, right? This is what you got from the homeowner. Hey, what email do you want to use when you log in? Once you do that, hit the blue Next button on the right-hand side of the screen. From here, you need to put in your homeowner's first and last name, scroll down to the bottom and hit Create. Once you hit Create, you just created their account for you and it's tied to yours. So hit Let's Get Started. From here, give the controller a name. Make sure it's close to the name of your homeowner so it's easy for your text to identify. And then you need to implement the serial number for the controller. Now that can be found on the white sticker that lives directly above the sensor terminals on most of the Hunter Hydrowise controllers hardware. Once you do that, hit the Continue button. When you hit Continue, from here, you don't need help, hit No, and you want to hit Standard Mode. And then click on the plus button for the program. You're going to enter days of the week, odd, even interval, your start time, given a name, simple as A, as I used here. Now it's going to bring up all of the available zones. So checkbox the zones that you want to exist inside of that program you just created. And by checkboxing them, you'll notice on the right-hand side of the screen, it gives you a spot to implement in duration of time, how long you want each program, each station rather, to run within that program. Then hit OK. You've done programming the controller. You can review it. Next step, hit skip. You don't want to customize, we'll do that later. Implement the address for your customer. This is an important piece. This is tying you to weather data. As soon as you do that, it's 2 yeses in a row, okay? What those 2 yeses in a row are telling the controller is pick the most accurate weather for me. Final step in the process is, do you have a sensor? We're going to assume you do. Hit yes, give it a name. We'll assume it's a rain sensor. That's the most popular. From there, you want to select the stations that live inside of that rain sensor, meaning the rain sensor has the ability to control them in the event of a rain activity. It'll prompt you at your home screen, and the home screen, scroll all the way down to the bottom, your green check mark. That means that that controller is connected all the way through to the internet, and the commands that either you send from your mobile device or the homeowner sends from their mobile device, or anywhere where we have internet access and get to highest.com, will actually transpire in the field. For more information and a deeper dive in this, please go to the Hunter Industries YouTube page or the video library at hunterindustries.com. And we break this down and get you really deep. This was just a brief overview, giving you the bare essentials to get through your first install. Good luck. Take care, Greg.
Well, that was our Kevin from the US, who is all over this system, and certainly he helps with a lot of the training exercises. Excuse me. As I was saying before, lots of resources are available for this fantastic control system. It's going to save us a lot of water out there. It's going to save us a lot of money for our consumers out there. You as contractors will be able to buy any of those controllers out in the retailer network. And if you've got any questions about the Waterwise range, go to your local dealer. They'll always be able to help you. If they can't, they'll be able to get onto our distributors. But you've also got the backup of this support line at Hunter Industries. That's about it from me today. Thank you.
Thanks, Robbie. If anybody's got any Hunter questions, please put it in the chat and Robbie will be able to answer. Once again, yeah, those smart controller tutorials are online. So if anybody would like to watch them, they do go for a few minutes each, and then there's a few questions pertaining to that video that you watched. I know that most people have already watched them, but if you haven't and you're interested, please do let me know. If there's no questions regarding Hunter, I will pass over to Gareth Jones, who's the area manager for Rainbird.
Righto. Good morning, everybody. Hope you can hear me. And
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you, Gareth.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, everyone, for your time. We'll keep this nice and brief. Yep, my name is Gareth. Look after Rainbird in WA here. So, and as Rob said, and a few of the others, with really good opportunity here with 2,000 controllers being made available for you guys and contractors and stores to get involved and try and get some sales out of this. It's a really good initiative. So I'm just going to quickly jump onto what we've got available here. So the Rainbird controllers that are compatible with this program, they are the RZX, the TM2. If I went clockwise around, the ME3, which is the current one, and then there is the ME controller, which there are still a few of those out on the market. There is a small little Wi-Fi symbol on the front of that panel there. If the customers have an ME that doesn't have that Wi-Fi symbol, there are replacement panels available scattered around the place. So reach out, contact me or contact one of your stores. And they're at no cost. If someone buys a Link module and wants to get involved in this, they already have an old ME controller, you can get one of those controller panels, a Link module, and the customer will still be eligible for this program. For the other three controllers, pretty straightforward. Purchase the controller and the module, and then you can control and program it from anywhere in the world. And it is fully compatible with this program because we're going to use the seasonal adjust, which I'm just going to show you how to do. Just interestingly, and a quick thing here, you may notice, depending on who's selling, or if you guys, some of you are in stores, some of you are contractors, you may notice now that there are different Link modules available. Both of those are available, you know, again, compatible or part of this program. There's just a rolling update to the Link. We're calling it the Link 2. It's the black one here. Main thing you notice, it's got a blue LED as well as the green and red. So it'll flash blue and green and red. And I'll just cover that in a moment. More to the point here, we just want to keep focused on how to actually set it up. Pardon me, been through the controllers, but just on the left, you've got your fixed station counts available in 4, 6s and 8s. And then the TM2 with the dial is available as a 12 station. And then we have the modular there, starts its life off as a 4 station. I'm fairly sure we'd all know that. With 3 or 6 station expansion modules can go up to 22 stations. And here is the Link module. This one here on the left is the back of the ME3, if anyone hasn't noticed, but where it says remote, And on the TM2 and RZX, you just plug it into where it says accessory. When you start doing that, the first thing that will happen is that the link modules will just do a little circuit test, and then they'll begin flashing green and red. Go onto the App Store or Google Play if you're on the Androids, and we just need you to download the Rainbird app. It has been getting some updates since it came out, but it really is probably one of the easiest things to use. The most significant updates well, actually one, if we just have a look at this screen here, this is everybody's mobile phone. Obviously it says AT&T, it's the US. That could take Telstra or Optus. But this little Wi-Fi indicator here, we've all seen it. It's not a really good indicator of Wi-Fi strength. So if you were to go and stand in a customer's garage or out near their meter box and they were to show you their phone and say, listen, I've got really good Wi-Fi, it's not actually a great indicator. So what we actually want to do is, there are some apps that you can download. If you ever get into troubleshooting, I can help you out with that. But once you've got the Rainbird app up and running, it'll actually tell you the signal strength, and that's this number here. The best signal strength possible is 0, and it goes negative, it goes minus. So, minus 47, that's brilliant. Minus 60, it starts to get a little bit sketchy. Sorry, minus 60 is okay. Minus 70 is a bit sketchy. Minus 80, data time just takes too long to transmit. And once you get above 90, we just say it's not usable. And in those situations, you can, you can actually show the customer that it's not the Rainbird problem. It's something to do with their internet, and they just need to put a Wi-Fi booster in or an extender. It's not practical to go and move the controller to somewhere closer, but a Wi-Fi extender is going to be the solution for them there. Another cool thing with the latest Rainbird app is that a customer can share their controller with somebody. Now they can share it for 24 hours if it's a maintenance person, or 48 hours, or they can give someone else permanent access to the controller. So there's no accounts needed. It's super easy. You simply download the Rainbird app, add a controller. Once you've gone through the setup process, you just then, there's a little picture of an envelope there. You simply just send that, punch on that, get someone's email address, whether it's the customer's, whether you're sharing it with a lawn mowing guy, and you just send it through to them. They open the Rainbird app, and that controller will pop up in their app. For security, this is all password protected. So, if you accidentally sent it to the wrong person, they wouldn't be able to access it unless you gave them the password. The password is set up by you or by the homeowner at the start of the process. So I'll just go through some of the things here. We need to opt in for the automatic seasonal adjustment. Now, seasonal adjustment, it's this section here. Again, I will go through it in a moment. Okay, just go back, sorry. Seasonal adjust grabs information from the local weather, and then it uses an algorithm in there to compare or to adjust runtime based on what the controller is programmed to run for, soil conditions. It knows the current weather, it knows the forecast weather, and it knows the previous day's weather. And then, as I say, it'll apply a formula to adjust the runtime based on that. It goes by postcode. As we all know, in Perth, in winter, you can be soaking wet in one suburb and, bone dry in the other, kind of. But in Perth in summer, when we're irrigating, you can pretty well drive from Yanchep to Bunbury and you've almost got the same weather across the whole pattern. So it is set by postcode. And then, as I say, it'll apply the factors there that I've just spoken about, soil conditions, the likes. Here's an example of a North American example, or a Northern Hemisphere example. So just to give the months across the bottom being, upside down and back to front. But for us, we know that in, December, January, February, that's when we're at our peak watering. So that's where we set and program the controller. We would say that all standard irrigation. So obviously you may install one of these controllers in September or even in June or July. You would program the runtime to be what it would be in the middle of summer. And then the controller will take care of it for you from very briefly. It'll jump onto the internet, do a download of the weather information, and then apply formulas. So you might find that it's, obviously now we're off, but in September it might be running at 40% of the summer schedule. By October it might be 50 to 60. By December it could be up at around the 100%. Rarely would it go above the 100%, but it is possible. Okay, so initial setup. When you get, as I say, when you plug that link module in, it'll flash red and green. You've now already downloaded the Rainbird app, so you'd open the Rainbird app and simply add a controller. And so it's super easy, super intuitive. Once you go to add a controller, you'll see this screen over here, and it asks you to select what type of controller it is you're trying to add. This screen has been updated as well. There's a few new controllers coming out onto the market, and a few new controllers that are compatible with link modules. But for the purpose of this, we'll just add a TM2. It'll ask you what color the LED is flashing. And for the most part, the gray ones are going to be flashing red and green. The new black ones will be flashing blue. What you need to do is jump into your phone's Wi-Fi settings. And this is my house. So on my phone, I can see that, I have a couple of different Wi-Fi networks available, but Rainbird has popped up in there. So you would join the Rainbird network. It may tell you that the Rainbird network is available, but it has no internet connected, which is normal and correct. It's not a modem, it's simply a little AP hotspot. So join the Rainbird network, give the controller a name. You can give this controller any name you like, whether it's a homeowner's address, whether it is the homeowner, or if it's a reference for you as a contractor. You enter the postcode that the controller is going to be situated in. As I said, that's for the weather information. And on this screen here, give it a password. It can be anything. I use 1234. So if anyone wants to get into one of my controllers, it's 1234. But it can be anything that resonates with you or the customer. As I said, if you ever to share access to the controller with somebody else, you'd need to know that password. Then it will ask you, are you ready to connect to a local Wi-Fi network? Now we are. We want to be able to use this on the internet and get seasonal adjust. You must be connected to the internet. And that's I guess it's an unwritten expectation, the same as Todd, I think it was from HR, they're talking about Orbit, is that you've got to have the homeowner's Wi-Fi details handy. An interesting note is that you're kind of tethered now to this controller. So if you go walking away, or the homeowner goes walking away and they goes inside the kitchen and they find that little card that's got their Wi-Fi password on it, they've probably lost connection to the controller and might need to start this process again. So just have that stuff ready before you start this process. So yes, we are ready to connect to a local Wi-Fi network. Once you say that you are, a whole list of Wi-Fi that the controller is detecting will now populate on this list. These are all my next door neighbors. So I would select which one I'd like to connect to, enter the Wi-Fi password, and basically that's it, done. This screen here, it says, do you want to send a backup of the controller settings? So the only reason, you can hit yes, you can send that to the homeowner as well. If for one reason or another, they deleted the app accidentally or did something strange, they could just go to their email. They'd be able to re-access the controller without having to go through the setup process. So it's not a bad little thing to have available. When you see that screen, that's it, you're done. So there's nothing really tricky at all or complicated. There's no accounts or anything like that. You can just do this on behalf of the customer, send them the link to the controller via email. Once they've downloaded the Rainbird app, they'll be able to open that link and their controller will just pop up in their Rainbird app. So we've gone through, initially I just had those when we started that little step-by-step process. We've now got one that we called the IAL demonstration, and we've got some little icons here. My mouse cursor's just gone. So pencil would mean to change information, write programs. The raindrop is how you would do a quick manual water. The email or envelope sign is said, how to share this controller with somebody else, be it permanently or temporarily, and the bin icon, trash can, as you'd expect. If I wanted to delete one of these or this one, we just hit that and we're deleting this controller off my cards. You can have an unlimited number of controllers. There is no limit at all to how many controllers as a contractor you can install or have permanent access to. Once we enter into this, if we were to click this area here or click the pencil, this is what we would see. I'll come up to that in a second. There at the top of the screen is some weather information. A very basic program that I'd set up here, and say I had programmed it for total runtime was 1 hour, 16 minutes, but due to weather conditions, we're only running at 60% of that. So it's 46-minute total runtime today. This is where you actually do it. So it's probably something that a lot of people just skip over, this section here that says seasonal adjust. But in setting up an irrigation schedule, it's super easy. Frequency, obviously odds, evens, custom cyclic in Perth with this, with our water regulations. We must go onto a selected water days, which as you can see is nice and easy. Tuesday and Friday I've selected. I have selected seasonal adjust, and I've told it that I'm operating on sand, and then create a start time. You can add multiple start times. Obviously just press the plus button. You can name each station, front lawn, back lawn, front gardens, whatever you need to do, and have the programmed runtime in there just with this slide and toggle rolling wheel there. This is an example of what the app sort of looks like when you've finally got it all set up. You can take a photograph and have a pretty little picture of the homeowner's front yard there. Just use the camera icon to do that. It'll show you that today's forecast. If you click in this button, it'll show you the next 5 days weather as well. And you can then click in the Wi-Fi button. That will show you the Wi-Fi signal strength. Here, if we go into the settings, this is getting into the deeper settings on the controller. This will ask you for the password to get into this, so it's not an accidental change. And you can allow notifications. So if it detects that a solenoid coil had shorted out, or that the internet's not so good, seasonal adjust has been applied, or irrigation schedule was complete, it will send notifications to the operator's phone. That'll come up on yours and or the homeowners, whoever's accessing it. If the controller internet drops out, if the internet in the household drops out or their Wi-Fi drops out, what happens is that these controllers are going away and connecting to the servers in the US to get weather information. And if a controller fails to connect for a day, it'll get a notification to the homeowner just to say, listen, your controller's not communicating any longer to the internet. The controller will carry on running, and it'll carry on running on the Tuesday and Friday that it was programmed for, and it'll carry on running for the last scheduled runtime. It hasn't updated, but it will send them a notification to say that you're now not connected to the internet. So if, there can be a number of different reasons for that, but fairly often, if that ever happens, it's because the homeowner changed something. They got a new broadband plan and changed their router or modem or Wi-Fi password. So, but yeah, fear not. If the internet drops out, the controller will carry on running. And then for users of sort of large quantities of controllers, you can actually create groups. So if you were looking after a housing estate or a retirement village, this is a list of all your available controllers that you have. You could have 200-300 controllers here, but to tidy that up and kind of make a folder, you would give it a name here. This could be, retirement village number 1, or something estate retirement village. And within that, you allocate all of these controllers so that they're all in one nice, easy place to go through. So you can make quick and easy adjustments to a certain set of controllers nice and easily. Similar to everyone else there, 2.4 gig Wi-Fi is what's required. All Wi-Fi routers in Australia are capable of broadcasting in 2.4 and 5. A lot of people think 5's the best. We just don't need 5. There's not that much information traveling across it, and 5 has very limited Wi-Fi range as compared to 2.4. And that is it there for me. It was something I just wanted to go back over quickly. No, that is it for me. If anybody has any questions.
Thanks, Gareth. Yes, if anybody has any questions, please put it in the chat. I did ask somebody, whoever is signed in as Weber, if you could please let me know who you are, because I'm not quite sure, just so I can mark off your attendance. So I am waiting for finalisation from Water Corporation in regards to the flyer, the terms and conditions and the checklist. I'm hoping to have that finalised by tomorrow so that I can send all of the relevant documents through via email on Friday morning so that you all are ready to go, kicking off Monday if you do have any bore users. If you do have any questions in the meantime, please let me know just via email or give me a call. So please keep an eye out for the email on Friday. I just want to confirm again that unfortunately there are so many people in the program and I don't have the capability of calling each person. So I do send a lot of my communications out via email. So if you could please keep an eye on any relevant information that comes through from me directly or from our system that would be relevant to obviously this rebate, may pertain to your endorsement. Yes, if anybody's got any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I do thank the manufacturers for their time this morning and their presentations. And thank you to all the Waterwise members for giving up just over an hour of your time. I really hope that the presentations have helped and that you are fully ready to go for the season. Thank you all very much, and I hope you have a great day.